Silver and Blue Huddle is back again. We told you we show up whether or not we win or lose, and we here even after a L. So Silver and Blue Huddle is back. Me and my man, Expert Corner, is back. So amazing to join us next week. He has some things come up, but something happened that we didn't really expect to happen, but it happened. So we're here to deal with it. We're here to take all the smoke coming off the L from the Chicago Bears. Definitely not something that we expected to happen coming off like what we talked about last week with the podcast, and just we was on a high horse. At least I was on a high horse talking about the Dallas Cowboys and what I expected them to go into this particular game and how I expected them to dominate. And a turnover happened, and then it went all downhill after that. So we're here to talk about our loss to the Chicago Bears and explain to you what we thought went wrong, what things that the Cowboys maybe did right. We don't know. We also got some other issues that are going to be coming up as well. We got some injuries now to deal with CD Lamb possibly missing a few games, and probably who knows if he's really going to come back, because honestly, if we lose the next 3 games or lose the next 4 games, what's the rush to get him back? Because we're at this point, 1-7 or 8. Like, you might as well just take your time. But Chicago Bears, Dallas Cowboys go down in dominating fashion against the Chicago Bears. And let me just say one thing about the Dallas Cowboys: when things are good with the Cowboys, things are good. But when things are bad with the Dallas Cowboys, things are really, 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 really bad. There is no balance with the Dallas Cowboys sometimes. And it's difficult being a fan, but we still fans. I still love the Cowboys. Still silver and blue. I don't know if it's our year, but at this point it might not be. But I'm hoping things turn around. But we never know. But Chicago Bears, I can start off with maybe the offense, and you can sprinkle in a little bit and talk about the defense. Matter of fact, let's just go right to you, because I'm kind of like flabbergasted on what I need to say about this performance that I actually just saw. But let's start off with your opinion and what went wrong and about the game. Let's just talk about the game.
Yeah, so I think you hit the nail on the head with the Cowboys. One thing goes wrong, then another thing, then 3 things, then 5 things, and that you look up and you're down, double digits going into halftime. It started off with the fumble with Javonte Williams, because they were driving right down the field. Great run. He's running down the field, just doesn't secure the football, fumble. Then you get the CD Lamb injury. And then it felt like once CD got hurt, it was like the Cowboys just gave up at that point. And I say they gave up because there are a couple things that are glaring to me on the offensive side of the football, and then even more things on the defensive side of the football. Offensively, once CD went out, it was like we just became the check down merchants of all time. And I don't understand that. You have a deep ball threat in Turpin. You have a 50-50 guy in George Pickens. And on 3rd and long plays, you're dumping it down to Jake Ferguson. Don't get me wrong. Love Jake Ferguson. What Jake have? 13 catches for 82 yards.
14
Not
targets.
bad.
He called pretty much everything that came his way.
He played well. He did what he was supposed to do, right? He ran the route he's supposed to run. But my problem is that if you're Dak Prescott, and I don't want to put this loss on Dak Prescott, because obviously it's not Dak's fault. One of the picks he throws it right to George Pickens. Should have caught the ball. It's a first down. Instead, it bounces off his hands. Edmonds makes a great play. The second pick he threw is garbage time. He's trying to force something and try and get. I don't put those 2 on it. But here's my problem with Dak. And I'm sure if you talk to Dak Prescott, he'll be honest with you and tell you the same thing. Kind of said some of this in the press conference after the game. Everybody's got to be held accountable. It's 3rd and 8. It's 3rd and 9. The Bears are showing blitz. Then the Bears back out. And Dak kind of gets happy feet and dumps it off for a 3-yard gain to Jake Ferguson. You're down 2 scores. On the sideline that your defense can't stop anything. They can't cover old grandma with a blanket. They can't get out of a wet paper bag in a snowstorm. They can't do anything right on defense. The one thing the Cowboys are doing well this year, stopping the run. It's the only thing. They can't put any pressure on the quarterback, and they can't cover anything to save their lives. I'll get to that in a second. But if you're Dak Prescott and you're making $60 million a year, you got to be that leader in that offensive huddle that says, listen, guys, we don't come off of this field unless Brandon Aubrey is coming out here to kick an extra point, period. right? You fight for every yard. You guys block every single blitz, and you go get points on the board. And I think part of that is Schottenheimer has to call the game more aggressively at that point, knowing that your defense is not playing well. You have to be complimentary to them and understand they may give up 30 points, so we got to put up 35 on offense. And I didn't see that from the Cowboys. I felt like once CeeDee Lamb went down, it just became well, it is what it is at this point. Let's see what we can do. Then they get into the red zone. And this has irked me for so long. It goes way back to Jason Garrett. You got a running back in the backfield, Javonte, 10 carries, 76 yards, 7.6 yards a carry.
Good point.
Why is he not running the football in the red zone when you need 3-4 yards to get a touchdown? Why do we always have to drop back and throw the football? I get it, Dak Prescott, I get it. But you got a running back that is running his tail off right now at the start of this season. Yes, he had a fumble, but he played great the rest of the game.
Right.
Miles Sanders, 9 carries, 41 yards, averaging 4.6 yards a carry. That's still good. But we don't run the football in times where I feel like you need to give your defense a rest. Let them try and figure something out on the sidelines. We're trying to quick go. So those are my problems with the offense. And defensively,
one thing before you get to the defense, you pointed out the running backs. Javonte Williams 7.6 and Miles Sanders 4.6 yards per carry. They was gashing him until he fumbled. So you have you have two good running backs. CeeDee Lamb should not be in the backfield trying to run the ball.
Not at all. Not at any time.
That play should have never happened at all.
He's not Deebo Samuel. And I get it. You want to get your playmakers the ball as much as possible.
Right.
But do you see the Eagles put A.J. Brown in the backfield and run him? Do you see the Vikings put Justin Jefferson or the Bengals put Jamar Chase?
Right.
No. They line him up on the outside. They try and get him a mismatch on the corner, and they throw them the football. If you go and look at the Eagles-Rams game, they win that game because that's what they did. They said, listen, screw it. Nothing's working. Let's just throw the ball up to the big, huge wide receiver we got and see what happens.
Right. You cannot think of a time where CD went in the backfield and there was some sort of play action. Everybody in the NFL knows that once he goes in the backfield, he's going to run the ball. Like, there was no sneakery, there was no trickery when it comes to that play and whenever he lines up in the backfield. You can't show me a tape where CeeDee Lamb lined up in the backfield and there was a play action or something like that. It's going to CeeDee Lamb. And again, we had two running backs that's like gashing them up and down the field, and we put our little smallest receiver back there to try to run a ball that he only gained like maybe 4 yards, and then he ended up with an injury. Like, we got to stop doing that. We got to throw that play in the trash. Like, I don't want to see B ran again because it's too obvious. We just tipping off the defense. Everybody knows it's going to CD. Like, and they haven't fooled nobody with that play since they installed it in the offense years ago.
Yeah, and all it's done now is got our best wide receiver out for the next 2 to 4 weeks.
Right.
So defensively, we could look at every single position group on this defense and nitpick this defense. And I see a lot of Cowboy fans calling for Eberflus's job.
Right.
I get it. We did the same thing with Mike Nolan when he was here. His defense was garbage. We got rid of him. Mike Zimmerman came back. His defense was not good. We got rid of him. Eberflus is on a short track of getting up out of Dallas. But I just want to pump the brakes. I'm not saying Eberflus is not to blame. He got this much blame. Let's put the blame on Eberflus. But let's put this much blame on the Dallas Cowboys players. No sacks, 1 QB hit. Caleb Williams got hit more by running into his offensive lineman than he did by Dallas Cowboy players in that football game.
Right.
That cannot happen. Now, this is the part where Eberflus is to blame. You have to generate some kind of pressure, right? I don't care. Put your guys in man-to-man and bring 6-7 guys and go make that quarterback get flustered, or just get up to the line and make him think it's showing up and back out of it. You got to do something different. That part is on him.
Right. The
part that frustrates me is that none of those guys on that front four are getting off of any kind of block on one-on-ones. They're not stunning. The stunts aren't working. The blitz package is not working. Whatever they're doing, it's not working. Right. Then you have every single linebacker that I feel like, yes, they're doing great stopping the run, held the Bears to 3 yards a carry. Great job. But as soon as a quarterback steps back to throw the football, these linebackers don't know what to do. They're lost in coverage. On top of that, you got a Trayvon Diggs that obviously is not healthy. There's no way he's healthy. Right. The first touchdown to Adunze where he slipped, people are like, but he slipped. That's not his fault. It is his fault. It's 100% Trayvon Diggs' fault. Why? Because he knows the coverage. He knows there's no safety back there to help him out. You can't afford on a 3rd and long to come up here and make a mistake. Just play sound football, man-to-man coverage, and play defense. Right. That's on him. The touchdown right before the half. Oh, my goodness. If you guys see this clip, Malik Hooker is lost. I was sitting 3.5 hours away from AT&T Stadium in my living room watching the game on the TV. I had a better chance of stopping DJ Moore from catching that football than Malik Hooker. That's how bad a coverage that was.
I agree.
If you remember the old New England Patriots slogan, do you remember what the old New England Patriots when Belichick was here?
Do your
was
job.
There? What was do your job?
Do your job.
That's all it is. That's all it is. It's called do your job, right? Yeah. When you sit in film study for the week and the coach says, "Hey, Hooker, you got curl flat right here, or you got just middle hook here, or you got deep blue," that's your job. Don't think, hey, well, when the quarterback runs, I'm going to go help Sanborn catch the quarterback. No, that's how you let DJ Moore get wide open behind you, because
stand there.
when you're lined up as a defensive back, and I can speak on this a little bit. I played defensive back in high school and in college. You are looking at the formation. All right, I got 2 wide on this side. I got 3 wide on that, whatever it is, right? Okay, I got flat. Which flat is usually line of scrimmage to about 15, 20 yards down the field. That's my responsibility. All right, if nobody is in that flat, I'm going to get depth to go help out my guy up top. Right. Well, Malik Hooker is in the curl. He's in the middle of the field. He sees the 2 wide receivers. He sees the outside wide receiver go, and sees that inside wide receiver run that in route. His responsibility now is to get depth and find that inside route. Once he gets out of my zone, I let him go and I go back to where I'm supposed to be because I'm looking for anything coming across my face. Right. At no point did Malik Hooker turn around. He didn't flip his hips. He didn't find the wide receiver. He literally is standing there watching the quarterback.
Right.
This, yes. Is Eberflus to blame? Yes, some of it is on him. But we got to start holding these players accountable to doing their job, and they are not. And those 2 safeties, Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker, when it comes to stopping the run, I won't pick any 2 other safeties in the league. Those 2 guys will come down and stop the run.
Right.
But when it comes to pass coverage, those 2 guys should not be on the field. Not right now. Now, Malik Hooker used to be a really good all-around safety, but those 2 have proven that they cannot cover.
At all.
And Elam on the other side is just as lost as anybody.
Right.
We are hurting in this secondary. So what do you do to fix that?
Trades.
Okay. One is you go find somebody else, right? Okay. That's out the door. You can't find anybody else. What is the solution for them in this building?
You know, you brought up good points when you talk about personnel and you talk about who we had that actually come in and try to coach this defense. We done went through, it feels like after Dan Quinn, we had Dan Quinn, Michael Nolan, Mike Zimmer, and then Matt. So those are like 4 different people that have come in to try to coach this defense. And the one thing that hasn't changed has been the personnel of the defense. Like, we had the same offensive personnel, the same defensive personnel, and for some reason we are expecting different results every single year. At some point, we got to restart it all and get all new personnel in here because, like you mentioned, some of it is on Matt, but a lot of it is definitely on the personnel that we got. Maybe the personnel that we have don't really fit the scheme of Matt, but he probably should have came in and matched up the personnel with his scheme, or Jerry Jones brought somebody in that fit the personnel of the people that we currently got. Like, he could have did that because it's looking like Matt likes to run zone and we ain't got the zone personnel to run his scheme. So maybe that's what we need to do. Like, just get rid of the personnel or slowly get rid of the Donovan Wilsons, the Malik Hookers, and get some people who can actually play zone, because you hit it right on the point.
This is exactly why Rich and I love doing this podcast with you. This is Rich Black Man hitting the nail on the head.
I've been saying
Your
personnel for years.
Your scheme does not match these players. These guys do not know how to play in your defense. This is not the Chicago Bears secondary. This is the Dallas Cowboys. And what did the Dallas Cowboys do? They played man-to-man and they got after the quarterback. Right. And so what the Cowboys did was they made quarterbacks throw the ball quick. Get rid of it. And these corners knew that. I only got to cover for 2, 3, 4 seconds in man-to-man with help over the top, or I got help underneath, whatever it is. But now you're asking these guys to cover for 6, 7, 8 seconds in a down, and they cannot do it. You're asking them to cover a zone, and they don't know which zone they got, what their responsibility. That is the part that's on the coaching. If you're and you got to go, okay, guys, this is not working. We're going to start blitzing the quarterback. We're going to get in that double A gap. We're going to bring safeties off the sides. We're going to bring the corner. We're going to go after the next quarterback because we're not going to allow him to stand back here tall in the pocket and see everything and find the guys in the zones. There's too good of wide receivers in the NFL that you can't cover for 8 seconds. You just can't. They're going to find an open spot in that zone and sit down. You're going to get beat. There's always something open. You got to find a way to get to the quarterback. And if you're not getting to your defense is not winning, period. Right. Just how it works. Quarterbacks are too good. You're not going to play, bum quarterbacks every single week. Look at them throughout the league. If they've got time to throw the football, they're going to beat you. It's just how it works. And so Eberflus has to change something with this personnel. Now, you got to look in free agency, who is out there that can come in here and maybe help out, that can get into your scheme, or you got to fix the scheme inside the building. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. They call that insanity. And that right now is the defensive game plan right now, is we just going to play insanity.
Right.
It's like the Cowboys are waiting for someone else to make a mistake instead of trying to force them into mistakes. Right. Now, this head coach, listen, I've been on the shoddy train since day one, right? This is a head coach that came out before the season started and said, we're going to be one of the top teams in takeaways. They not. He did talk about they're going to be one of the best teams stopping the run. They are. They in the top 10. But then he said, we're going to get after the quarterback. 2 of the 3 things that you promised me as a head coach for your defense are not true. Those are complete lies. You are almost dead last in yards per game.
Right.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
You cannot continue to do this because the games don't get easier as the year goes on. They get harder. Players are not playing at full strength. They're not as healthy. Teams got more film on your defense with your defensive personnel. Now they're seeing the things other teams are successful with. And now they have the Eagles really didn't throw the football. They tried to just run the ball. They didn't throw on it. But now you have 2 games where the Giants and now the Bears have torched you in that secondary. Teams are seeing that. They're going to pick up. You don't think Green Bay is watching those 2 films right now? The Jets, the Panthers, the Cardinals, the Raiders, all these teams on your schedule, they're going to watch these films and they're going to figure out what you don't do well, right, and they're going to exploit it. And so there's got to be a quick change, or else, like you said, we're going to look up and we're going to be 1-7 going into the bye week.
Right. And one of the points that the Chicago coach, what's his name? Ben Johnson. He actually came out in the media and said that the reason why they got the Cowboys on that flea flicker was because they watched the tape and they saw that based on the defense that the Cowboys playing, they don't get enough depth, and they know that they can get that play over the top of the Dallas Cowboys. And what exactly happened? They got it over the top of the Dallas Cowboys. At this point, Matt, you just need to tell these dudes, okay, we give up everything underneath, but when I call zone, still play deep, because these teams are getting explosive plays off the Dallas Cowboys defense. They get in like 40, 50 yards. So if we got to go to like, hey, we okay with the 5, 10 yard, maybe 15 yard gain, we got to stop this deep ball stuff, man. Like, because our defense is just looking lost. Like, they're not even close to the wide receiver. The receiver got like at least another 7, 8 yards on our defender. Trayvon Diggs is not 2021 or 2022 Trayvon Diggs. Stop depressing, bro, because every time you press, you seem to miss and you happen to fall down, and it's an easy score for the offense. So I don't know what we got to do. Maybe he just need to. He made a tackle and then subbed himself out of the game. Like, what they do that at? Like, who does that? Like,
Well, I think he hurt. I think he hurt his shoulder at that point.
mm-hmm.
But
He's not a good tackler
I
anyway. So
I don't. Well, I think he. It's just not. It's just not his forte. It's not what he does well.
right.
What has Trayvon Diggs been known for his entire career?
Yeah, playing man to man.
Man to man, lock it down. I got this guy. Let's shut it down.
Right.
Deron Bland, what is he known for?
Man to man.
Man to man. I got this guy. Let's shut it down. We are playing 95% zone with our defense. Now, Deron Bland is hurt, so I get that. Elam, the only thing he's known for is being a bust. And we traded for this guy, and he has not done anything in Dallas yet. I don't know. I don't know if it's because there's nobody else on the roster step into that spot, but I don't know what they're seeing on film that says these guys in the secondary is the best we got.
Right.
There's no way. There's no way you're not looking at guys on the and you're not trying to go pick somebody up and saying we need to bring some guys in here to help us out. Truly, the first mistake that the Cowboys made was they let Al Harris walk. They let him go somewhere else. This secondary has not been the same since Al Harris has been gone. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, it seems like they lost their leader, the person that they looked up to and the person that they was going to be able to listen to and motivate.
Their edge is gone.
They lost him.
It's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just funny because the secondary was the strong suit of our team for so long, and now we're looking at it like, man, if we had this secondary we had when Dan Quinn was here, with this run stopping defense we have right now, this is a Super Bowl winning defense. But now, man, it's I said last week that maybe not time to hit the panic button, but after that Chicago game, man, I'm stomping on the panic button right now.
Yeah, it definitely might be time for that. And like I said, the personnel, we done had these people over the last couple of years, at least 3 to 4 years, and we keep bringing them back, keep signing them, and then we keep expecting different results. And you said it, it's insanity. It's insanity. And Dak Prescott is definitely the highest paid quarterback in the league. And at some point, you just got to take over the games, bro. You just got to like throw the ball down the field, forget all that check down. If something comes into your ear and your helmet that says, hey, we running this play and the routes are only 5-yard curls, you be like, no, we're down 14. We throwing the ball down the field. We taking our chances. Because normally when teams are up 14-21, they go into prevent anyway. So you can pretty much move the ball down the field as much as you want. Like, make some audibles, man. Make Brian mad at you because you changed the play in the huddle and you ran something totally different, and it yielded in a touchdown or something. Because Brian out there calling 5-yard curls on 3rd and 18. Like, what sense?
I just don't think they're aggressive. They're not aggressive at all on offense right now.
Right.
And I felt like in the Giants game, they got aggressive there in that second half because I felt they needed to. But when they didn't have CeeDee Lamb in the Bears game, like it was like they felt like they couldn't do anything on offense. It's like, oh well, CeeDee's gone now. We can't. There's nobody to press the defense. George Pickens is a one wide receiver. I know he had the bad drop that got the interception, but he's a number one. Go throw him the football down the field. Make guys make decisions to either pass interference or it's a 50-50 ball. Let me go get it. Send Jake Ferguson down the field. Get your running backs out the backfield. You got Turpin is a speed guy. Tolbert, Flournoy, I don't care who it is. You know this defense is not playing well. You got to start being aggressive on this.
Right. And
you got to start doing it quickly. You can't wait till you're down 10 points. You got to do it now when it's 7-7 or it's 10-10 or whatever. You can't wait till they're up 24-14 before you start being aggressive.
I agree. And even when CD goes out, if CD goes out on injury and you run a formation and you run a play, whoever is replacing CD now runs that same route that CD was going to run. It's really that easy and simple. I don't understand why George Pickens couldn't run the route that CD was going to run on that particular play. Like, do they only – I'm not understanding why the next man up can't just take over a route. It's just a route. Either you can run it or you can't.
And if you can't run it, then you shouldn't be a wide receiver on an NFL football team.
Right. If CD was going to run a slant or a curl or something, okay, now that route is your route, George Pickens. Now you lining up what CD was supposed to be, and you run that route that he's going to run. Either you can run it or you can't. Like, there's no CD does not trademark routes. Like, anybody can go out there and run a route, and if you can't, then you shouldn't be on the football field. Like, CD being hurt shouldn't have really adjusted the game plan too much. I mean, you got running backs back there.
We're gonna find out now, because now you got Green Bay coming to Dallas, and you have no CeeDee Lamb. You probably still won't have Deron Bland. You're probably not gonna have Trayvon Diggs. Tyler Booker is now hurt for the next 4 to 6 weeks. This cannot go any worse. If you don't think that guy in Green Bay wants to sack Dak Prescott 5-6 times, and you don't think Green Bay is going to do everything possible to put him in situations, Sunday night could be a long night for Cowboy fans.
Yes. I mean, hopefully he's – I mean, the Green Bay Packers coming in, they want to definitely drop 40 or 50 points on us, and they've proven that every time they come into AT&T Stadium that they just want to beat us down, and they are pretty successful at it the last couple of years. If we don't get any pressure on Jordan Love, he's just going to throw the ball down the field all night long. Go into man coverage, act like you're going to send the blitz or send the blitz. Like, I should see nothing but what they call it, double mug all game long. I don't care if you come or don't come, but that is the look that you should show the Green Bay Packers every series. Double mug and then back out of it or something like that. You cannot sit back in zone and allow Jordan Love to sit back there and just torch you every single play or find open players in your zone, because you run his zone. Even though they won't have their top wide receiver in Jaden Reed or something like that, they still got weapons. They still got a good little running back, Josh Jacobs. And you made a point that our run defense got a lot better. It has. It really has. But unfortunately, we sacrificed our secondary at the cost of the run game, which that's just unfortunate. But we kind of expected them to at least be able to get off the field every now and then. But that defense can't even get off the field. They get off the field after a touchdown is already scored. So that's the only way they get off the field. But we got to send pressure. We got to get pressure off Jordan Love. We got to send the DB blitz. We got to do something, man. We can't sit and play zone the whole game. And Dak Prescott has to go into this particular game knowing that he has to score 30, 35 points. He cannot have 3 and outs. He cannot have turnover on downs. You have to get points every single down, Dak Prescott, because that's what we paying you top dollar for, bro. Like, we went out and got you some new weapons. You got a nice little run game. You got a nice little George Pickens over there. You still got Turpin, who got speed. But no more check downs. Throw the ball down the field, bro. I don't care if you throw 4-5 interceptions. They better be down the field. Interceptions, not check down.
Yeah, it's we got to see that aggressive Dak Prescott that we've seen before in his career.
Yes.
And the problem is that I don't know if that guy still exists. And it sucks to say that, because I think Dak Prescott is a really, really good quarterback. But maybe he just doesn't trust this wide receiver core. I don't know what it is. Obviously, when you lose CeeDee Lamb, a lot of those guys didn't take reps in practice as much as CD and Pickens and Turpin did. So it'll be interesting kind of see what the Cowboys do. Do they go try and get somebody off the practice squad to bring to the roster to help this wide receiver core? This is, if you're George Pickens, though, this is the game you want, right? Because now all them people that talked about you and coming out of Pittsburgh, now's your chance to show you're number one. And you're playing for a contract, whether it be with the Dallas Cowboys or one of the other 30 teams, because obviously he's not going back to Pittsburgh. But this is the game where you drop a set and say, okay, I am a number one. When we come out of this game, I'm going to have 100+ yards, a couple touchdowns. I'm going to put the Cowboy offense on my back. Come on forward. Let's go. Right. Or is George Pickens going to be that guy that's like, oh, well, we ain't got CD. I'll catch what I catch. I need to see that dog in George Pickens. And I know he's got it. Right. I know he's got it. He was upset about it. Like, you can always tell when a wide receiver causes interception, what kind of wide receiver they are. He was pissed about it. Yeah. So I like to see that energy, but I got to see an aggressive Cowboys offense. especially knowing this defense playing the way it is. On the other hand, I need to see a different defense on Sunday night. It could be the same personnel. I'm fine with the same personnel at this point, but it's got to be different. You can't keep trying to put a square block in a round hole and tell me that it's going to fit. It's not fitting. You got to figure something else. And if he don't figure something else out, and I see the same Cowboy defense, then remember that blame that I said was on the players?
Yeah.
All that will go to Matt Eberflus, 100%, because it will be on the coach of the defense. And this is where Schottenheimer has to make his first tough decision as a head coach, right? Because at some point, you got to make a decision and say, look, it's not working, Matt, right? You my guy, but it's not working. We're going to make a change at defensive coordinator. Sorry.
Right.
It's a tough decision, but if your defense is giving up 30-plus points a game, you cannot be a defense coordinator in the NFL.
Right. Unfortunately, I did my research, and Jerry Jones has never let a defensive coordinator go during the season. He's always fired them at the end of the season. Maybe we see something different.
I get it.
Maybe.
Again, doing the same thing over and over again is the definition of insane. Right. We held on to Rex Ryan for a whole year. We shouldn't have. We held on to Mike Nolan. We shouldn't have. Zimmerman, we shouldn't have. The only defensive coordinator we've had that was decent was Dan Quinn until it came to the playoffs.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, we got a tall task. I mean, I think you laid out some good things, and I laid out some good things that needs to happen for the Cowboys offensively and defensively. We both agree that we need to see a different defense. Unfortunately, we kind of stuck with the personnel that we know doesn't fit this current scheme. But maybe during practice this week, they make some adjustments and they be like, all right, you guys love to play man. All right, show me you can play man, and I'm going to call a whole lot of man coverage, or maybe mix it up a little bit, because I swear for God, I don't even see man coverage being played out there. Like, oh, that's
very rare. It's very rare that they play man.
Yeah.
Maybe 5% or less of their defense is playing man coverage.
Yeah. So they clearly do not trust the personnel on the field in order to play man coverage. They must be slow, or they just have a low IQ and they can't keep up with the wide receiver or something like that, because that's just terrible. Like 90% of your defense is zone.
But here's my thing. I think man coverage takes less IQ than zone does. The thing with zone is you have to, and zone coverage as a corner, which is what I played, I have to trust the other guys in that secondary to do your job, right? I can't say I'm going to go help that guy out. I have to do my job here. And the thing with the zone is if one guy is out of alignment, he's not doing his job, the zone is broken, right?
Right.
In man coverage, typically you're going after a quarterback, you're trying to put pressure on him. I know 100% I got this guy in front of me, and 9 times out of 10, I got some kind of help. Either a safety over the top, I got a linebacker coming out to play a flat, and I'm going to play based on that as a. So I'm going to play over the top knowing I got help underneath, or I'm going to play underneath, let him get some over the top because I know I got a safety coming to help.
Right.
But this Dallas Cowboy defense, they're not helping each other, right? And you can look, if you look at the film, there may be 2 of the 3 guys or 2 of the 5 guys doing what they're supposed to do, and they've got a good zone coverage. They've got it locked up. They're doing their job. The problem is the backside safety didn't do his job, which you talked about the flea flicker. Ben Johnson said, we saw it on film, blah, blah, blah. We knew we did it. What happened on that play? Well, it's real simple. The 2 safeties have deep thirds.
Right.
They saw the run and immediately came up. That's not your job. Your job is not run fit if you're in deep thirds. Your job is last line of defense. If that run is through, now you're rallying to go try and go make it. But when your responsibility is deep thirds, you're deep. And you're deep as the deepest man. The problem is they got on the same level as that wide. They got on the same level, he's gone. Because he's running forward and you're running backwards, you're never catching him.
Right.
That's why it worked, because they're not doing their job. It's almost as if they don't trust what they've learned, the training, the film that they've watched. And obviously the Bears have not. So they didn't see it on film, but they're not trusting what they're being taught in the film room, in the coaches meeting, on the field. They're not trusting their job. And because they're not, it's hurting everybody.
Facts.
And that's why defense is so difficult to play in the NFL, because on offense, if the right tackle doesn't do his job, but the run is going to the left, no one's going to notice the right tackle messed up.
Right.
Or if one wide receiver doesn't run his route properly, it's okay because another wide receiver is open, right? It's so much harder for your defense because you need all 11 guys doing their job. And right now, I don't look at this team and see a guy that stands out on this defense and be like, that's the guy playing his butt off right now. If we were to pick one, Kenny Clark may be the best one on this defense doing his job. But outside of stopping the run, there is zero pressure on the quarterback yet in any game.
Mm-hmm.
There's been no game where we've looked at the Eagles, Giants, or versus the Bears where we got pressure on the quarterback on a basis, and that's not who the Cowboys were the last couple years. Now, obviously, they had one of the best pass rushers, the past 4 years. That helps. But at some point, Sam Williams, Dante Fowler, hopefully now Clowney is available and he plays. I didn't like that he played and Mozzie Smith played. Good thing Mozzie Smith got hurt, which now Kenny Clark may not play versus Packers, and we may see a lot of Mozzie Smith. Listen, this is room for disaster, Cowboy Nation. Let me just say that right now. Listen, you guys go back on all of. I don't think I've picked against the Cowboys, maybe once or twice. I'm telling you right now, if this Cowboy team that played the Bears shows up at AT&T Stadium versus the Packers, we are going to get blown out in the first half, and it's going to be a wrap. It's going to be over. We're going to see more Joe Milton gameplay because they're just not going to risk Dak Prescott in a blowout game.
And you give them the first half. I give them the first two offensive Green Bay series, because it may be 14-zip real quick. So I don't know. I agree.
I'm hoping that we jinx it and they go the other way. Because we always pick the Cowboys. Hopefully, if we pick the Green Bay, then the Cowboys will come out and play hard. I don't know. Yeah. This is where we're going to find out what kind of team we got, though, right?
Some little reverse psychology. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers in the win.
I'm picking Green Bay in a big win, probably like 35-14. I do not see this Dallas Cowboy defense stopping anybody. And this Green Bay team, if you look at their defense, they've given up 13, 18, and 13 points. Now, obviously, one of those was a loss to the Browns. They didn't play well this Sunday. But this defense for Green Bay does not give up points. They are a stout defense, and they get after the quarterback.
Right. If we can establish the run a little bit and we don't fumble away the ball, I think we may have a chance to at least keep the Green Bay offense off the field if we're able to block Micah Parsons, which – Green Bay traded for Micah Parsons, but as of late, the last couple games he's only had like 2 tackles a game. Obviously, I guess he made some sort of impact just by being on the field, obviously. So that's not really throwing the shade at him. But stats-wise, his stats is kind of down a little bit, but his impact is really probably about the same no matter what team he's on. So hopefully we can contain him. Hopefully he don't run wild. But, like you said, I normally don't pick against the Cowboys. But this week is not looking too good for the Dallas Cowboys with Green Bay coming in and Jordan Love and his receivers and Josh Jacobs and those guys. And they really, for some strange reason, really, really, really hate the Dallas Cowboys, even though they won the Super Bowl in our stadium. Like, you would think they would love to play there and just want to be in the building.
Oh, they do.
They
love playing there.
Yeah. They
that's the
dropping
problem.
50 on us every single time. They like that. They like that.
Listen, they love that indoor stadium. They just love playing indoors. There's nothing better than playing at Jerry's World. Like, every team you talk about, listen, Jadeveon Clowney, George Pickens, all these guys that have come here have said, man, these players are spoiled. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we spoiling our players too much. Maybe they need some wooden lockers. They no massages, no hot tub. Maybe we need to go back. Remember the what was the movie Major League?
Yes.
When they just kept taking stuff away from them.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we need to start doing. You guys want special things? You want PS5s in your locker? You want Xboxes in your locker? You got to get done. Yeah. Taking away y'all PlayStations and Xbox.
taking away that
Ain't no
Dallas Cowboy
snacks.
Uber account that someone said
That's
that they
right.
actually have. Dallas Cowboys got an Uber account, so you never really have to
Absolutely.
like. You shouldn't be getting like caught up in any type of traffic
The
violations.
Uber can go to two places. It either goes to your house or it goes to the facility for you to watch film and figure out how to do your dang job.
Yeah.
That's the only two places the Uber goes. I'm tired of seeing videos of us doing fit checks and dancing in the locker room and thinking we fly. We got all this swag. No, you don't. You just got your brains blown out by the Chicago Bears. You should be in there in the film study in that locker room, figuring out what y'all got to do. Player only meeting, because this is embarrassing, Cowboy Nation.
I never kept up with his podcast, but has Micah done a podcast since he been with Green Bay?
I have no clue.
Okay,
have not paid attention.
Yeah, I haven't. I never.
I don't think he has. I don't think he has, because obviously, if Micah was doing a podcast, there'd be clips about it.
Okay, so you see, his focus has changed a little bit. Like you see. Like players come to the Dallas Cowboys, get drafted or get signed, and then somehow they get these big old egos. And unless you're winning, nobody's going to talk about your ego. But when you start losing, everybody's going to like. To me, Micah probably got like the big head because he played for the Dallas Cowboys, and rightfully so. There's a lot that comes with playing for the Dallas Cowboys off the field. Like you get marketing, you get media, you get all these opportunities. If he probably got drafted by Green Bay, he probably wouldn't have those opportunities. So his head probably did get inflated a little bit by playing with the Dallas Cowboys. But it's a lot. It's a lot, and you just wasn't. Nobody's performing. Dak Prescott performing. I think when I went to a LSU game in Miami, they had Dak Prescott in the parking lot. Like he has his own banner in the parking lot. Like that's crazy to me. But it's a lot. But anyway. Green Bay Packers coming to town. I don't know about the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to lose. I'm just going to say that. They're going to lose. I'd be shocked if they win. I'm going to be a Chicago Bears fan as like they was coming into the Dallas Cowboy game. You couldn't find a Chicago Bear fan that thought that they was actually going to beat the Dallas Cowboys. You couldn't find one before the game. After the game, you see a lot. They's like, oh, I called it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. And then I have a few people coming into my stream that's Bears fans that say, hey, that was totally unexpected. I did not expect to beat the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm going to sit up here today and say I do not expect the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Green Bay Packers. But I hope they do. But I hope they do.
I mean, I always hope my team wins, but it does not look good, Rich. Yeah. And a lot of things got to change and quickly for that to happen.
Either way, we're going to be here win or lose. We're not Dallas Cowboys win or lose. If they get blown out by 50 by the Packers, which we expect, we still going to be up here next week giving you guys a podcast talking about how the Dallas Cowboys got blown out by 50. But we hoping the Green Bay Packers win.
Okay. They still my team. They still my team. Rich, I just feel bad for my son. That's who I feel bad for. Because the poor kid, he hasn't known anything but losing as a Cowboy fan. This is the sad part, right? You ever seen that meme where the guy's like standing outside with the rain and he's like screaming at the person, don't do it, don't do it. That's my son in there picking the Cowboys, and I wanted him to be a Cowboy diehard. And he's hurt. He's texting me during the game like, what is this? What is this team? I'm about to turn the game off. Listen, when they put Joe Milton, I was done. I turned the game off. I turned 2K on. I was like, I got to shoot some.
Yeah, and a lot of people said that, hey, once Joe Milton got in the game, he looked way better than Dak Prescott until he got to the red zone.
Lies.
And threw a pick.
Listen.
Come on.
I feel like Joe Milton was more aggressive than Dak Prescott because obviously he knows his time is limited. So I'm going to slang this thing.
Right.
I'll be here next week.
Yeah, we'll be here next week. Silver and Blue Huddle. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow my man Expert Corner on Twitch and TikTok and Facebook and all the other platforms that he on as well. And we'll be here win or lose. Silver and Blue. We'll catch you guys next week.